Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. It's with my great and somewhat inappropriate pleasure I introduce to you the Protoss player in the blue. Not the Protoss we deserve, but the Protoss we need right now. It's herO, the smiling assassin, the rank 1 Protoss player in the world up against his eternal nemesis, the adaptable, hardy, rocky Zerg. It is Solar. He's liable to take a punch or 2 or 3. But if he survives long enough, he'll wear you down with him. A best of 5 Protoss versus Zerg in this Masters Coliseum. Well, I think they're Grandmasters, but like we had to shorten it somewhere. Match. And honestly, on any particular day, I'm not sure who has the edge. Really, if the only big issue here could be herO making a mistake and not leaving something in the wall, something to stop the Zerglings. The amount of Protoss versus Zerg series I've seen decided by herO, not even acknowledging the fact that Zerglings could get in his base, is too damn high. So don't make a mistake of that magnitude. Don't let the Zerglings in. Like and subscribe today. Jimmy, what are we at? I know it was a bad segue. What? 1,129 likes. And I'll cast another series. And yeah, I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope you've had a good day so far. Hope it's about to get a little bit better as herO starts us off with a Blink build. Not a Stargate. Oh my. The meta shifting before our eyes. Blink and you'll miss it. Well, going with Twilight first, but it's Blink, not Glaives. If I'm Solar, imagining, dreaming. If I'm Solar, I'm thinking Glaives. All right? It's very likely that is the most common thing that a Twilight and a Robo are used for early on. Your answer is usually Roaches, some Zerglings. I don't know if herO has shown this before in any sort of major capacity, but it's been quite a while since I saw someone go straight into the Blink upgrade. Right off the bat. A Warp Prism on the way. So everything points to something. It looks, well, the second gas is a bit of a giveaway, but he hasn't seen it. Solar has not seen it yet. So, without vision of that second gas, it's going to come down to whether or not the Roachling can pull together a defense. Already plenty of Roaches on the way. Solar's only had 39 drones, taking this very seriously, though he's still unlikely to know it is indeed Blink Stalkers. Now, the Blink Stalkers are much better against the heavier Roach count than their Glaved Adept counterparts, but at the same time, struggle more. And herO slapped the pylon down in the wall. Now a Zergling will gnaw on it for a bit, put a timer on it, but that means nothing getting in, and a bit suspicious indeed. As more gateways on the way, the Stalkers are spotted here by the Overlord, which will be regretting that. Gonna target down one of the Roaches, blinks back. Very slick micro so far. And the Queen's out in front, the one with the energy. Actually being targeted. Down she goes. And the Blink Stalker's juggling back. Big Zergling counterattack. Gonna try to make good on what that other Zergling did earlier. 1 or 2 Zerglings behind, or Adepts behind the wall, will deny the counter. And indeed, Solar with a few too many Roaches to actually engage this. You want usually more Zerglings, as the Stalkers are not nearly as efficient against them. But here we are. Beautiful Blink micro, dodging out of a lot of the Roach projectiles. More Blink Stalkers, but here come the Zerglings. Gonna muddy things here. The Roaches and Ravagers unfaces the Prism just in time. Ghetto blinking back with the Prism itself. Shield stripped away from the vast majority of the Stalkers here. More Zerglings streaming through. The Corrosive Bow knocks out one more Stalker on the way out. And at the end of the day, those Stalkers are not going to stand tall enough when the ankle-biting Zerglings rip them to the ground. And herO is in full retreat in Game 1. A rough start. A clever idea, but unfortunately, the same response to Glaved Adepts can work against the Blink Stalkers here. It was a little bit of an awkward time in dealing with it here. Yeah, looks like Solar considering just going for it now. A Dark Shrine is on the way. The classic Desperation Templar follow up. An Observer will spot whether or not Solar is going to continue the aggression by potentially checking. Can you see the drones? Not quite from there, but he can get a good idea. where the army is. And very importantly, they're not yet done. Blinkstalker's back out on the map. Zergling's on the wrong side. Gets one of the Ravagers, loses a Stalker. Another Ravager blinks over the top. The Zerglings actually happy to go for a surround. Not quite gonna get it. herO trying to take another base. Starts the Nexus. But making things difficult. herO, remember how few drones Solar had throughout that. What do we got in here? The Adepts. 4 more drones. So it's not like Solar has a booming economy. That's partially why I think he didn't try to end the game outright, as it's a little more reliable to drone up his 3rd base than it is to try to just bash in a 2-base Protoss up a ramp. Now the Dark Templar being warped in. There is already an Overseer here. He might go for an Archon drop. Looks like he's going to try to get into the main. Looks like a couple Corrosive Biles or maybe some Queen Needles. Or some combination of the two. Hit the Prism. So already badly bruised. Very dangerous. Well, the Queen having a rough time here. Has the oh, might lose the Brendan, no! Queen goes down. herO trying to juggle back and forth. 1 DT at the 3rd. A couple in the main. So herO keeping Solar busy here. It's very annoying to deal with. Losing a lot of drones. But herO is mostly just buying time for himself, as he wants to get that 3rd base up, and anything he can do to keep those units on the other side of the map is going to be very important right now. Ooh. Now setting up for another set of blink aggression, whatever he can do outside of the creep as well. Creep really makes it that much easier for the Zerglings, especially to close the distance. Yeah, well, those Stalkers giving us a primetime demonstration. That is actually so many Stalkers, though. The Zerglings are struggling. Well, they catch a couple. They're struggling to really get a wraparound on them, get a grip on the sheer number. But more Stalkers coming up. Well, here we go. Targeting down the base. He's gonna get it. Is it worth it at the end of the day? We're gonna have to ask at what cost. +1 melee is done. Stalker's being chased down. The Zergling count is still more than high enough to justify chasing. Gets another Stalker. Juggling more back. Blinks back to the base. And, well, Solar will rebuild immediately. So far, the losses mounting for both sides. 1,500 gas to just 350. But 1,000 more minerals lost for Solar here. Charge is on the way. Though Zealots in small numbers probably not going to be particularly useful. Ravagers continuing. Baneling Nest is done. Baneling Speed is completed, as well as +2 melee attack. That ability to one-shot probes, yeah. The new patch, the dreaded / anticipated one, not out yet. And likely won't be for a time, so +2 melee attack. Still very dangerous to those probes. And it's well on the way. 3 more sentries warping in, making sure he has options for the army. So herO's done a good enough job of zoning out so far with the changelings spotted at the front. Robo Bay is the choice. Just trying pretty much whatever he can to avoid the Stargate, but Solar is building up Ravagers, Lings, and Banelings, and is looking to smash the 4th base. What? Yeah, there's a lot of sentries here, but the Ravagers aren't going to care too much about it. Charge is about to complete. Here come the Lings and Banes trickling through, knocks down the force fields anyways. That Protoss army looking, well, the force fields are just not enough. The changelings blocking some of the potential force fields. And herO, he attempted the Stargateless opener. He attempted the Blink Stalkers. He's doing damage on the other side. What do we got there? Some Zealots? But I think Solar's doing a lot more here. And in game 1, herO will be run down by the Ravagers. Wings and Bell. Okay, there's some more Zealots in the main, but the Roaches should be enough to clean it up. herO, kind of the last gasp here. He has enough Stalkers left over to micro it out, but worker count 63 to 50, not herO managed to maintain a lot of his probes. Okay, what does he got left? Builds another base. Some more zealots down here. That prism from earlier is still alive. He's maintained the one warp prism. But otherwise, the efficiency has not been there. So, herO has some disruptors. That is what he's banking on now. All his chips are invested in that particular play. Are we going to see a disruptor to kill changelings? Alright. A few more zealots coming in. The roaches. Solar knows he did the damage. He is very much aware of it. He's just sitting back, kind of consolidating, making sure there's no chance of herO putting this into some sort of weird base trade. The Dark Templar makes its way in, can kill some of the drones here, but the disruptors make their way up, fires a shot, clips a couple Ravagers. Another shot, looking for roaches, gets a roach and a Ravager. But overall, the Zerg army is strung out. Ravager knocked down, and game one will convincingly go to the Swarm. Solar, just running him over. Making... herO, I thought for a moment we might be developing a new style, a new strategy, a new meta. And then Solar just punched him in the face. Because when you go blink, essentially the same response to Adept Glaives, but it's more costly. And Solar kind of just did a middle-of-the-road standard response, and, well, there you go. In fact, I think he was overcommitted to the Adept Glaives. Overcommitted to the response to it, which led to him being even more prepared for the Stalkers, because he already had the units to keep the Stalkers from getting anywhere close. So it does feel like one of those things that herO attempting, but Solar's kind of middle-of-the-road play ends up handling. Beautiful blink micro, but no amount of prancing across space and time is going to solve the problem of Stalkers taking so many hits just to kill Zerglings. Alright, altitude. Game 2. We'll see if he falls back to the Stargate. Or if just an adjustment to the Twilight. And it is such a commitment for Protoss. Like, you kind of set the tone for your entire tech tree. It's locked in the early game based on what you choose. As all the tech choices require quite a significant investment. This is why historically Protoss have struggled in longer series, as you can get away with 1 or 2 sneaky tech choices, but 3 or 4 makes it a little more difficult. This is why your ladder experience is filled with sharper cheddar than you'll usually see in these more extended top-tier series. As very simply, these players know each other so well. There are only so many cards to play, so you gotta have some safe ones to fall back to. And that's why the Stargate, I think, is in production for herO here. As there's nothing safer. Essentially, the oracles just only oracles, really. But the oracles give you scouting, they give you defensive capability, and just a little utility in the form of stasis. So you got the Swiss Army knife of Protoss. You got a little bit of everything. They can be kind of fit in any situation, in much the same way that Blink Stalkers cannot. Oh, that Adept, can that actually hit to the low ground? I think so. It looks like it. Adept shades all the way into the main. Gonna be very annoying. Solar gets the Spore Crawler for one of them. The other drone goes down. And herO gets away with murder. Shades away. Oracle. Finishing up. How many Moracles are we gonna see? Rarely do we see up to 4 oracles, but the Triumvirate, on the other hand. The threecles. No. Oh god. The threecles are no. No, it works for threeper. It doesn't work for threecles. Stop saying threecles. The triumvirate build of 3 oracles, usually 2 at home, and then or 2 for scouting, and then 1 at home to defend, has been the standard ever since herO popularized it. herO, the trendsetter for Protoss. 2 more gases on the way at around just after 4 minutes. Ooh. How did I say it like that? Ooh, no, no, just a different angle. Interesting. Bazinga, no. Adepts come in. Make the drones very uncomfortable. And also dead. 3 of them. So far, Solar's drone count has been kept quite low. And he even was a bit supply block there. I believe he lost an Overlord on the other side of the map. But herO helps him out very graciously by killing a couple drones and unsupply blocking him until these Overlords are complete. And he can do it himself. The Adepts... Oracle comes back. The threecle... Stop. Comes back to defend the base, chasing down the Zerglings. Burns through a bunch of them. And then the Twilight in the fort. And now we see Blink. Unless he's looking to get crazy again. Honestly, I don't mind in game 1. Okay. What? He started Blink and then went Charge. I was going to say I don't mind in game 1 breaking out like the Blink build. Kind of setting the tone. Like it could be something. I might get a little crazy. Might get a little spicy. But then kind of going back and to a more standard. But here we are going for Charge. Again. Kind of swerving with the Twilight Council. The Charge upgrade is, of course, amazing for Zealots. And Charge Lot Archon can make for some devastating timing attacks. And once again, much the same way Blink Stalkers do not. Blink Stalker is more of a zone control sort of unit. Not something you can really commit to as an all-in. Not on the creep against Zerglings, which are... He's going for double Templar? What? herO, you can't... What? Dark Templar and High Templar? We know they don't get along. Wait, I think they get along. I'm not sure what the lore is now. But there's been some strife there. Anyways, this madman is building a Templar Archives and a Dark Shrine, which isn't that crazy. But it is a little crazy. It's like a little quirky. I wouldn't put it at insane. Except maybe for clickbait reasons, but... I have no idea what he wants. I mean, obviously he wants to make Archons from the High Templar. I say it's obvious, but then watch him upgrade Storm or something. And then the DTs just for DTs. This is... Well, I guess if you see High Templar Archons, or High Templar in general, you're probably not expecting DTs. Well, Alright. Well, here we go. We'll see if we can get rid of the detection. This is an expensive investment. He does have 7 gates, which really probably isn't enough. Brenda! Can somebody target fire at this entire... There we go. The Oracle's kind of just having the run of the place. +2 melee on the way. herO now getting a Robo Bay. This looks like a classic build. Classic who will get the entire tech tree before building any gateway units, if possible. Not usually possible, but yeah, willing to give it a shot. Baneling Nest. I think he kind of forgot he didn't have a Baneling Nest. Now he's +2 on the way. That Ravager feeling... It feels like somebody's just watching. Oh my god, it burns! Guys, you're not gonna believe what just happened to me. Alright, Thaddeus. Whatever you say. What happened to your HP? Did you shoot yourself with corrosive bile again? No, I swear! There were these flying lasers. I can't really look up. because, like, my face is too low. But, okay, Thaddeus. Too much. Too much. Well. Overlord speed on the way. Solar nearly maxed out. herO with... he still hasn't really made use of that. Is he doing, like, Inter-Templar Archons? Like High Templar, Dark Templar? Which are technically possible, just until recently severely frowned upon in the Protoss. Well, some of the Zealots are getting caught here. Or who's catching who? No, the Zealots are definitely getting caught. Colossi on the way. Another War Prism in place. More Zealots running in. herO just kind of throwing a lot of pocket sand at him right now. Not anything in particular, but kept Solar quite busy as he builds up his eye. Honestly, herO just bought himself a solid minute or two. Not two, definitely a minute. But Solar just kind of keeping busy until +2 melee. And mailing speed finish. But the Colossi are already out. It looks like Solar wants to go towards Broodlords here. He's got a Spire and most of the rest of his tech tree in the main. Which, you know, could be a liability as time goes on. But herO... what has he got in there? He's got 4 Zealots. Not sure what he's doing with those weird moves. herO well known. Ah, yes, herO uses the select all. He doesn't actually have any hotkeys for his army. herO is the highest level select all army addict. That's what you were seeing there. Is he was select all arming, but he has a hotkey for his prism to try to bring it back into it. Yes, you heard it here first. The most important... oh my god. Thaddeus, stop shooting at our units! Brings down his own Overseer with the Corrosive Bile. The Banelings with Stasis. Here come the Colossi, the Stasis fields. Solar. Well, he rolls the Banelings in after the Stasis. Not too many choices there. But herO easily face tanks it with the Archons. With some of the tankiest faces in all the land. Also, that select all army addiction is part of why he's so notorious for not having units in his wall. As you can see on his control groups, he's got 1 for the Prism. For some reason, 2 Archons. Not even sure what those are for. But otherwise, not any hotkeys to control his army. But yet his army moves. Well, here we go. Maneuvering. He's got some DTs in there. And though pushes them into the fray, the Archon wall. Just ripping through. There's a Disruptor. Almost dies to the Corrosive Bile. He tries to target it, but that gets him closer to the Archons. And herO just burns his way through. herO built the right army, and Solar never had the opportunity to really... he never got to the 4th base. He never dealt with herO. Before he got that critical mass, he got Colossi in the back line. You good Stasis. You put it all together. Boom. herO's got that... I still don't know if he ever used a Dark Templar, High Templar Archon. Or if he used either of those units for anything but Archons. And herO, you don't get a discount on having you know what? I like the creativity. Even though he went with a standard opener... Jimmy, please. Even though he went with a standard opener, he swerved hard into the charge slot Archon. And it ended up working out. As I think Solar... he saw the Archon so early, which is usually a little later on. It's usually something you add towards 200 supply, not like after you take your 3rd. He saw it so early that he just kind of sat back, and herO took all the initiative. Let's see if he can maintain it. Feels kind of weird, like I kind of got caught off guard by that game ending. I think Solar did as well. He just kind of died. He just walked up and killed him with a bunch of Archons. There were Vipers on the way and such, but none of them were there. The army was just way better for herO. Alright. Probe. Flirting with the minerals, so that way the drones feel left out. Essentially, everything that's happening there is the mineral patch is a neutral party. If one of the workers wants to mine from the mineral patch, it talks, when it gets close, it whispers in its ear, "I'd like to mine you." And then the mineral patch is like, "Oh, please do." And then if anyone else comes by, well, that first worker is trying to mine. The mineral patch is like, "I'm spoken for." And that is why the probe flirting with the minerals there is annoying to the Zerg, as if you don't manually retarget the minerals with the drone, it'll bounce off and try to go find someone who's more available. So the probe there just trying to make the minerals cheat on the drones with the probe, even though the probe, of course, as a will never follow through except accidentally. Very important. Also, unless you know exactly what you're doing, definitely a waste of APM. So they're like, but herO uses the select all army hotkey, and so do I. Well, when you have a GSL championship over Maru, you could use the select all army hotkey too, my friend. You know what? I won't even say over Maru, but that kind of seems to be the requirement nowadays. I'll just say any GSL championship. Let me say, I'm not trying to gatekeep you. You have to keep as many gates as you need to get it. Let's see how many hotkeys he's using now. One for the adept. I mean, come on, we're so early. His mouse control. Okay, that's what it's all about. Honestly, sometimes easier to use spellcasters when you're just using your mouse. As opposed to trying... Because at least you know where they are then. Sometimes you got units all over the map. Or at least all over the screen. Hard to designate exactly which ones are doing what, and Protoss is all about that. Oh, the Zerglings! Where are... Okay, the second Oracle. The 3 call on the way. A Zergling running in. He's going for more, well, just enough to counteract any sort of extra adepts. Sometimes you'll see 4 or 5 adept just throwing them out there timings. See if it'll stick. Well, or you kill a stalker. I'm very surprised he's not going for the stalker. On the other side, Queens deal with the stasis. In fact, Solar just lost all of the Zerglings here. 16 Lings dead now. While he was dealing... Oh, the timing on the stasis was perfect. Solar was looking back at the stasis while the Zerglings ran into an adept in the wall. Fleet Beacon. What in the... Well, herO pulling out another card from his deck here. It is a Stargate. It's gonna be... This is a carrier rush, right? He's carrier rushing. Well... Here we are. Now, because Solar... Look at the drone count. 50... Wow, because Solar lost so many drones and Zerglings? One of the worst... Like, being at such a low economy is going to hurt pretty badly when it comes to dealing with carriers. And every moment, every minute that goes by that he doesn't realize this is happening, it gets harder and harder. He's gonna need a Spire. Technically, you can counter carriers with Hydras. Technically. I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're not named Dark. The carriers are on the way, and Solar has no reason to suspect right now. I don't think. He may be sending an like. herO's played a passive. Honestly, I think he set up this series. Did he see it? How does he know? Why is he building a Spire? He's just building it because that's the direction he wants to take this game? Does he know? Oh, the gases, maybe. Yeah, the gases are suspicious. Having 6 gas this early? Eh? Well... Wow, carriers take forever to kill an overseer. I guess he doesn't have all the interceptors yet. Anyways, the adepts get in. Now this is this is disastrous. Oh, a dozen drones? What? Oh no! It's an absolute disaster. Oh, almost. Oh my. Like, this is terrible, terrible damage here. Solar really struck. You cannot. He can't afford this. This is not the time. There is no time to be losing 28 drones. But right before your opponent gets carriers is certainly not. Oh no. Absolute disaster here. As the carriers have arrived. Wow. Oh my. Well, there's 7 corruptors on the way, so if we can knock them down directly. There's Blink +1 behind. And the queens? Well, oh, the stasis over the top! Wow, okay. Well, he's fighting the interceptors there. Another carrier has arrived. herO. With some reals. It's not really sneaky, but... Well, here come the corruptors. Recalls the carriers before the corruptors can even get close. I'm not sure if someone noticed that. Not that it's going to be particularly relevant. Gets into the main baneling nest on the way. It's been devastating damage so far, but Solar has bounced back. The only bright side here, really, was that he took that damage after he already had a solid drone count. So he was able to replace them rather quickly. It's painful, but it isn't the permanent stoppage of production it could have been if it was just a bit earlier. So he's got those 4 bases up, but the ground army is coming together here for herO. He's got plenty of soon-to-be Blink Stalkers. +1. We got 4 carriers on the field. Just enough to make things difficult. The corruptor count with all those Blink Stalkers. And the carriers can just work their way through the rest of the army. Now this is the support the original Blink All-In needed. The carriers themselves. Zoning out for the stasis. The Stalker is still suffering from basic impotence. There's something else over on the left hand. Looks like a single adept. The Spire. He's working on +1. It feels rough here for Solar. As herO has... Oh, he does have a 4th base. Important to note, but the forward stasis doesn't catch much. Solar trying to keep it together with the Ravager Lang. The Corruptors are just deadweight supply here. He finds the carriers. You do still have to have anti-air. The Ravagers doing what they can, but the Stalkers are working their way through. The Interceptors gonna help them win this war of attrition, trying to fight the carriers straight up. Corrosive Bile. Oh no, didn't quite get in that last volley. The Corruptors still doing a lot of work. Take out 2 carriers. It's just not enough. The carriers are too strong. And at the end of the day, herO overwhelms with the Golden Armada. Though, let's be honest here, it was really the ground follow-up that did it. 2-1 herO. Solar with about as bad of a start as you could get. But really playing into herO's hand there. And, well, he had the right cards to play. Oh, those carriers. There are few units that are harder to deal with, just their existence, than things like carriers and battlecruisers for Zerg. When you've already taken that economic damage. Because it's a larva thing. Like, you just don't have the larva anymore. Because you had to replace the drones. You no longer have that margin you can use to do a counterattack or even keep their army off the field. Because now you've spent all your larva and your money replacing the drones, even if it isn't that costly. And minerals, the larva is not coming back easily. Well. herO bringing out 3 different builds so far. 3 different varieties. Varied twists The game 1 was a completely different style. But it was, yeah, game 1 was a completely different style, sorry. Game 2 was a twist on the Twilight timing. And then game 3, we just kind of, instead of veering onto the exit ramp for Twilight, instead we went 2 or 3 miles or 17 kilometers. Okay. 4.7 kilometers further and took that exit onto the Twilight with several more carriers. Probe. Getting into that heated conversation with the minerals again. What do we got? Can you believe it? It's a Stargate! Okay, call... Probe. Oh, come on. Oh, it's been a while since we saw this. I guess he didn't probe block the natural. He went for the third. Adept. Going to make things more difficult. Oh my god, he's going to use the adept now. herO, it feels like he's warmed up to it here. And a Void Ray first. Even, I want to point out, last game, he actually was building Void Rays behind the carriers. But then realized the Blink Stalkers would likely be more than enough. Cancels the Adept. Shade. The other third base has been taken, but he just wants to continue making life difficult here. Now we see how much further he goes down the Stargate route. But build number 4 is brought out here by herO. Adds an Oracle behind. Burning through the countryside as well as burninating the Overlord. The Void Ray, prismatically aligned. A bit more user-friendly than the Oracle in many circumstances. Well, mostly, probably the most relevant part is being able to kill Overlords on its own, as opposed to requiring a Stalker or something like that. There aren't too many options. It's a Stalker when it comes to ground anti. What are you going to do, a sentry? Yeah, tickle it to death? Oh, burns through one of the creep tumors here. Ooh, it's pretty self-sufficient. I don't think he had it. He manages to get a second one. Are we really doing Void Ray Micro against drones here? All right. Well, he takes some damage from the Spore. Solar, gonna shrug it off. The Void Ray is quite an expensive option. And less effective overall than Oracles. Of course, that requires the Oracles to have energy. A main difference between them. Twilight, Forge. So besides the Void Ray, alright, Adept Shady in towards the third. Well, he recalls immediately. Tries to drag everything out of position. Beautiful Oracle Micro. Slides in, murders 7 drones in total. Oh, I take it back. He's not done. There's no Spore in the main, but the second Oracle does run out of energy, so it makes it harder to actually get that damage done. 9 drones in total now. Is he done? Is there any more? Trying to come back in for more. What do we got? Is that another Oracle? He built another Oracle on top of it. Still burning. Ooh, might lose it. A lot of damage dealt. Very annoying to deal with. All the Oracles bruised, battered, but still intact. And the Void Ray is waiting for its opportunity to help deny the creep tumors as well. So just hanging out right at the edge of the creep there. So far, herO keeping solid control of the situation. Stalker straining, but the Adept knows its job. It's doing it well. You are a door. What? You adore me? No, you are a door. Void Ray. Its little pylon in the front faces down the Overseer. Oracles kind of doing some window shopping for drone kills. Unfortunately, the Queens fire their knitting needles out the windows into the Oracle, killing it. A dangerous game. Well, more damage. Whoa. I think we need Queens with +1 anti-air range. What do you guys think? Don't you dare, Winter. Don't you dare. Infestation Pit done. Is he going Swarm Hose? No, Rushing Hive. But for what? Adrenal glands? Anyways, they're the Stalkers. They do have +1. I believe Blink is done as well. This shouldn't be a deadly force, as it is just Stalkers. The only thing that Stalkers have a tendency to kill is their own self-esteem when they try to actually get damage done. Especially in such relatively low numbers. Rushing Hive. It has to be Adrenal Glands, right? He's not going to go Ultras. Are they really that good? I guess against a Stalker-based composition. Not so great against Colossi, though. Upgrading extended thermal lance. Disruptor's on the way. I think he's faking the thermal lance now. I forgot Vipers existed for a moment there. It's for Vipers. But really? Are Vipers that crazy? It's kind of crazy to me to go for the Hive Rush this early. Like, no, not... Hey, he gets Adrenal Glands and Vipers, so a bit of both. I think against a non-Colossi, non-Archon composition, those Zerglings, and for counterattacks, they're incredible, yes, but herO warps his Prism just to keep that Select All Army hotkey from ruining it. Let's go back to the... he's got the Stalker hotkey. That's how serious he is now. He's using hotkeys. Alright. Stalker's out of the map, gets the Overseer. Probably makes Solar a bit suspicious as to why he spent any time on that. Oracles come through, and he holds the bridge. Actually turns around, a bit bold here. And the Stalker's fighting it out. In fact, they're chasing the Roaches back across the map, and the Disruptors are on the field. Where are the Vipers? 2 Vipers out. Brendan, no! Oh, the Queen's caught out in the center. Might be able to target down some of the Oracles. Gets 1, but the rest just outright murdered. herO coming across with what could be a deadly army, especially considering the massive warping into the main. The Adrenal Glands aren't done yet. Might be able to pull out some of the Disruptors from the composition. Blinding Cloud is a solid option. Yanks away the Disruptor that just fired, interrupting it. Takes down another one. Fires at point-blank range. But a 3rd Disruptor on the back line. And a 4th Disruptor in the broad side of the front. And suddenly, Solar plummets to 120 supply. And the bleeding has not stopped as the Zealots cut through the mineral lines. And just like that, herO has gutted Solar. 3 games in a row. 3 different builds. Well, technically 4, but 3 different Stargate builds. 3 different methods, but 3 of the same result. The 3 herO with a decisive victory here. Just finding so many methods of dismantling Solar who couldn't seem to ever really find a response. Solar is usually so good about adapting his defenses, but herO kept rotating his strategies well enough that Solar never really found some footing. A beautifully played and just a purely Protoss series there by herO. Pulling out a new card, or at least a variation, every game, and making it work. So well played by herO. I hope you enjoyed. I thought that was a pretty solid Protoss versus Zerg series. Let me know what you think. And if you got the means of motivation, make sure to check out Patreon, YouTube membership, or either way, just like, subscribe. Jimmy, 1,129 likes to cast another series. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. Stay tuned.